Charlie, welcome. Very, very good evening. It's Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. This one, it is quick analysis, holiday analysis, runaway analysis of our Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. But I'm impressed. Say, maybe didn't come away because and then never be a coso. And I've seen that your last video, things are going on very well. Hi, Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. Say, won't subscribe to the channel now. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notification. It's very imperative. Say, all turn on notification. I will choose all. So anytime your content about drop piano, we are first to have it on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. And then I think something awesome. Especially on the parts of the games that have gone on in Europe. Harry Kane winning the first trophy. Madrid were able to win. Chelsea have gotten close to a Champions League berth. And another company, the biggest set of news that anybody will talk about. And Chelsea fans are very much excited. Say Ometimiashi team are a friend in Liverpool. Something very, very important for Chelsea fans because in the lead up to Chelsea game now Omobon and then Newcastle are dropping points. Now midweek is so not Nottingham Forest are dropping points. The Forest they team share game I think Leicester or Southampton or so. It means that they will come level on points with Chelsea, Newcastle, and Omankasano. And that sets it, blows it wide open. And Chelsea have done a very good job. But the job is not done yet. Chelsea, if they become complacent, na Omuma Ejumano Mayeno goes down the drainer, then they are going to be in so much trouble. Omaya, a very, very good job because if you look at the points gap between Chelsea before the last 3 weeks, the games and nobody expected Chelsea to beat Fulham, beat beat Everton, and then beat Liverpool or champions now. But they've been able to do that. I mean, not against all odds, but then essentially against a very, very tough Liverpool team. In so much confidence. Chelsea have been able to do their job right now. We'll talk about that into detail. We'll talk about Enzo Maresca, Enzo Fernandez, Cole Palmer, Romeo Lavia. Make a story be about 2 or 3 years ago about Romeo Lavia and why I've said and if you want to know my takes about some stuff like this, I'll come to Twitter. Just go to the search button and enter Lavia's name. I've said from the very first day at Chelsea, Lavia say he's probably the get out of jail card for Chelsea for and why Chelsea go very far on projects. I'll talk about him into detail. But let's start from Spanish La Liga and in Madrid, of course. Barca were able to get a job done in making sure say still never 7 points before sending Madrid a better Fiabo against Celta Vigo. It was always going to be a tough game for team and friend in Real Madrid. Time on Carlo Ancelotti ringing a lot of changes. I get a saying say Madrid for have not given up. Say Utier, Federico Valverde, Thibaut Courtois, Carlo Ancelotti, Kylian Mbappe. All of these guys after the game give me a sense that Enyadi Oma give up in the chase for the La Liga, no? And Omojiri say the El Clasico because this next weekend, no? It be a huge game changer in terms of if they can win the El Clasico and upset the odds or not. Mario Fi said midweek Barca are going to play against Internazionale Milan. Now, in playing against Inter, after that, Omokakoba against Team Efreno, Real Madrid in the chase for the El Clasico, in the chase for the Spanish La Liga. So, really, there's a chance for them. And in this game, sometimes, players now, they are not really spoken about a lot. And in this case, Abrante friend Adagole, who stood up. I mean, this boy came from Turkey. Carlo Ancelotti doesn't really fancy him when you're so much of an experienced player. The focus was on more of the star boys, experienced players. No? But on the night, it was a branch friend Adagula and they shared an important goal by a team of friend FC Real Madrid over there. Madrid were out by 2-0 by a branch friend Kylian Mbappe. But again, time and time again, I kind of several times say Madrid team tactically they are not compact enough. The leak goes and it's all your year and you're defensively okay. You stand a very, very good chance against Team Efreni FC Real Madrid. And it nearly played out against Celta Vigo for because the game ended 3-2. Very, very close shave for Team Efreni FC Real Madrid for and we've said it several times here. Madrid need to be very careful in managing of games and how much they play some of some matches. Until now, Spanish La Liga table on points on every DC from 7 points to 4 points between Madrid and Barca. The El Clasico is there. If Madrid are able to beat FC Barcelona, it reduces it to 1. And they're very, I think the Barca have Athletic Bilbao also, who also won Champions League in the running. It can come plummeting down for Barca a bit more Diego for Barca and also Madrid can have a good smile at the end of the season. But it's only a matter of time, and that's exactly what has gone on there in terms of Barca match, and a team my friend FC Real Madrid match on the Spanish La Liga. But Charlie, Harry Kane a Chelsea trophy for all of his career. I mean, can you imagine? If you are seeing now one of the best strikers, Harry Kane, for almost 10 years being consistent at the top level for Tottenham Hotspur in the English Premier League. In fact, today, in the leaderboard for highest goal scorer in the history of the English Premier League, Harry Kane is still second behind Alan Shearer. And obviously, Harry will want to break that record now. But the thing is that Harry ain't me winning a single trophy on a Brabum, or about Champions League final, or about League Cup final, or about Carabao Cup final. Still, even last season, when he went to the German Bundesliga, no BIGDC at the German Bundesliga there, I had a sort of an easy league they are buying Belgium for the very first time in a long time. There was a certain Bayern for Leverkusen who came to usurp them for that trophy, and then of course Harry Kane and Timianje. And since then, Champions League, not Omako, Santiago Bernabeu, Oma dominating game na Madrid for Eddie Hoselu Abanoma Beyoma Frim. I mean, he has always gone close to winning something, but it never goes on well for him. And for the very first time, this season a career when Harry Kane winning the title, and Bayern Munich for winning on the 33rd Bundesliga title as Bayern Leverkusen drop 8 points, and their 12th title in the last 13 seasons. Of course, German Bundesliga and Mundia Bayern for a little bit of a monopoly. I don't know if a brand here friend of Vincent company the contracts now will be extended. I don't know if Christophe Fouin, the more any other will keep him there at Bayern, or they will let him go and look for a much more proactive manager with more experience or with me Edioma competing in the Champions League. But it's some of these things, we'll not worry too much about it. As the season draws to an end, and we'll see how these things will play out as well. But Vincent Company, congratulations to him. Congratulations to, most importantly, Harry Kane. Vincent Company, they were the championship before, but this time it's the first time Harry Kane has won his first title in his professional career. What a wait. I mean, final is over from Bayern, England, wherever. Or the England Cup or the Euros final, still Harry Kane could not win. I call World Cup semi-final, still Harry Kane could not win. Charlie, it will maybe near say the Harry Kane curse, where the Harry Kane cannot win a trophy, but there he is. He has broken that curse out. And then on one case on Instagram, and he puts up a picture of a trophy and him smiling. Obviously, it has been a very, very tough one for Brantia Freno, Harry John Kane or Honoman. Today he has been able to win his trophy for Team Friend FC Bayern Munich or the German Bundesliga. I mean, today, whilst Bayern Leverkusen were dropping points, Bayern Munich were at home and they were watching the game and they were jubilating. Say, really, really important. Say, Bayern for the results that they were able to get. I mean, in the lead up to Champions League matches, some breaking news are in terms of players, but Inter still are struggling with a brand friend Lautaro Martinez, and Barca are also struggling with Alejandro Balde. Barca as it stands now, according to Mundo Deportivo, I'm too clear if a brand friend Alejandro Balde is going to play. Barca at the beginning of the season, now our biggest position as a question mark was the fullbacks, Jules Koundé Onope and then Alejandro Balde Onope. The other two players they beat Mabo on Nefi Academy, they are not too good. Hector Fort and Gerardo Martin, they are not the best players as replacements. And a lot of the Barca fans ask questions, say Barca need to try and then get a job done. I know in the game, Barca any Real Valladolid they bought this weekend. Gerardo Martin was the best player, man of the match on the day. But really, Barca are going into a big game. In fact, a season decider against Internazionale Milan without two most important players at fullback, Jules Koundé and Abranta friend Alejandro Balde. If what Mundo Deportivo can earn a credit, then it means that Barca are definitely going to mess. Obviously, you need some fullbacks to pin them back, to pin Interfone back. Again, the role of Jules Koundé in the creative output of Abranta friend Lamine Yamal is literally up there. And you need him in the team. But of course, Jules Koundé is injured. He said he personally he's devastated. Says I injury now, but again, he would have to focus and support the team from the touchlines. On Tony Cruz was in his eyes, and then granting interview, someone like Pedri is almost more important than Lamine, Rafinha, or Lewandowski for Barca. They are the ones who decide games later on. But to even get there, Pedri is currently the best in that position. Pedri is a player who you will miss when he is not playing. He doesn't only score goals, he doesn't only create assists. The game goes through. Of course, we said it several times. The role of a deep line playmaker, sometimes the average modern day football fan or you're obsessed with statistics doesn't understand it. See, data and science, they are very good things. And usually, so you use them together, they give you almost every time an answer. Maybe say it can in a way that people understand. Like data, a more direction. It doesn't make you blind. It lightens your path. Same as science or your research, it lightens your path. But one thing that especially data doesn't take into account are emotions. And in the game of football, sometimes people understate the importance of emotions. Football is an emotional sport. A very emotional sport. People literally, like I've said it several times, in-game preparation or pre-match preparation, tactical analysis is literally just about 5-10% of the amount of preparation you need to do. The real job goes into the mental fortitude and the mental standing of players. What Johan Cruyff and on friend is psychosocial superiority and it's animal. Very important. What your mental state is important. And that is how today, I said, in fact, 2 weeks ago, because I said, yes, England supercomputer now predicted that Chelsea will not be able to qualify for the Champions League. But I said that it is really about Chelsea winning their games. Like, finito. Nothing else matters. Osha Umacha, explanation. And before then, there was the game against Fulham, there was a game against Everton, there was a game against Liverpool. All 3 games, Chelsea got 9 points. Now, in Saran, Newcastle are dropping points. Nottingham Forest are dropping points. Huge points. Fact that Nottingham Forest were third, close to second, and nobody that's it. And it's about emotions. If you put yourself in a game and you want it and you push for it, you get results. Forget about supercomputer. I'm not saying that it's not a good thing, a very good thing. I'm a scientist, essentially. I use data and then a lot of research to make decisions. Makes a lot of sense because and only I did the amount of the lights to make that decision. But away from that, things like emotion are very important. That's why some people don't ever go against their intuition. A very, very important part of life that you need to be careful of. And if you want something and you push for it, you get a result. And then Chelsea finally went into that game against Liverpool and they wanted it and they got the job done. Maybe when I get time, God willing, tomorrow, I'll talk about the tactical side of the game. But really, the game was about who wanted it most. And it was Chelsea. It was Chelsea and a winning of second balls. And after the game, Moise Caicedo was talking about, Cole Palmer was talking about Abrante's friend Moise Caicedo and the importance to the team. But even before that, see, me a part of the people that ask questions about Trevor Chalobah and if he could play, honestly speaking. I look down on Trevor Chalobah, but he has come back as a very, very hungry man, and Trevor has delivered. See, we need to give Trevor Chalobah the flowers. He has delivered. Super player in it. Aggression, stepping into midfield, winning duels, being combative. And that's something that Chelsea may say in the absence of Wesley Fofana, because I've always explained the importance of the 2 different characters in centre-backs, a cat and a dog. You need somebody that is aggressive in the dog and somebody that is more tactful or be ready there, then he clean sweeps if the need be. And in the absence of Fofana, Chelsea didn't have the dog, and the dog is as important as the cat. And in this case, Trevor Chalobah has come in and is doing that job brilliantly well. Or we need duels, or aggressive, or turning possession over. In fact, ultimately it and Bobby in the first half put his body on the line because he knew what was at stake for the team. Again, Mark Cucurella. For me, I think the Chelsea player of the season is a close call between Ono and Abrante's friend Moises Caicedo. With respect to who can be the player of the season. Caicedo has been brilliant for all intents and purposes. Everything that you need Moises Caicedo to do, and he delivers. But away from that, and I say you also need somebody at the back who makes a tick And that's been our brand friend Marco Correa. Super, super, super player. Last week, I may say, I chanced on an Prime Video documentary. Now on in the area, he was saying, say, somewhere last season when he was having a bad time, no, his son had been diagnosed of being autistic. They didn't know or no anything about autism. And then they diagnosing of autism. Piano crying soon. Like a whole lot of changes they had to adapt. And one day, or Baba ball game for Chelsea Kofi, you know, his wife and his kids have been robbed at gunpoint in London. Something that he says hurts him. And or Shegu or yes, our penguin celebration. According to him, penguins don't leave their family. They are constantly very, very loyal to our family, you know. And he's doing that to make sure say he'll tell his family say he'll stick with them in the very tight time. But this season, boy, Marco Correa has been super player, and then he was there again. One of the parts of the games I'm sharing now, I was a little bit furious was from Robert Sanchez. See, so Romeo Lavia Wenima, you don't have to go and play long. There were times and then now Robert Sanchez or Romeo Lavia on him, and still he wanted to go long. He wanted to kick the ball long. There's no point in going long. Stick and play short to a branch friend Lavia. Now receive ball in the house space, and then you can play forward because that's the most important bit of play. But constantly, Robert Sanchez wanted to go long. I've said it. When Kevin De Bruyne every year echo Belgium echo about the KDB Cup. Inside KDB Cup, no, they had told Kevin De Bruyne about a boy from Antwerp, your friend Romeo Lavia. I almost say they believe say in terms of complete midfield. Adebayo Belgium for NBA the deep line playmaker or bit make to control the tempo of the game. And I always try to explain tempo control in football. Say ball never become player answer or not sure say okay you better go forward in term okay into your boss okay you take it 2 touches to the left okay like on or like the conductor of the orchestra on be funny. And that's the importance of Romeo Lavia in the team. And everybody saw it. I'm not surprised if you go on social media, everybody's talking about Romeo Lavia to the extent say Chelsea sporting director Joe Schultz posting on Instagram talk, and he has titled it Baller. Of course, brand here friend Romeo Lavia a baller. Top baller. Top baller. I've said it several times, and if you need a player like him, you go for him. He gives you everything. And I've said it in Chelsea in Romeo Lavia for large part of the season. There wouldn't have been the final end of the season scrapple for Champions League places. Obviously, it would have been wrapped up long ago. By then, Chelsea would have to do that. After the game, Enzo Maresca said some very cool things about Chelsea. Or if or not there, or believe it Chelsea project, you know, and he knows that players need are very solid and they are going to do very, very well. I'll say for sure, Chelsea have to fight for Champions League, but sometimes it has to even be for more. We'll wait to see that we can grow and then fight for better things over there. Maresca say very important 3 points, especially at this stage of the season. This team showed why they are champions. Obviously, it's a Liverpool and we're winning league, so I won't read too much into it. But it was a 3 point that Chelsea had to get, and it was as simple as that. They had to get a 3 points. At the end of the game, Moises Caicedo, Cole Palmer say Moises Caicedo is Chelsea best player this season. For them, when he talks about the kind of job Brandt here, friend of Moises Caicedo at the back park, he's a brilliant player. Of course, Uti now say okay. Moises for Cole Palmer again for the very first time in a long time. I saw Cole Palmer do the things that he was doing when he had not hit low form. But I mean, the numbers are crazy. One of the best creative players our game named Cole Palmer. And Daniel Sturridge, former Chelsea and Liverpool player, say Palmer was absolutely magnificent today. There has been questions marks about his consistency over the last few months, but this is the Cole Palmer that we all know and love. This is the Cole Palmer that gets the fans on the edge of their seats. He's an amazing baller to watch, and today was what we love to see over there for him. Cole Palmer spoke about Moises Caicedo, and say when you have got him in front of you, it's a dream. From the start of the season, he's been our best player. He wins the ball back all the time. He's humble, nice to everyone, and everyone loves him over there. Cole Palmer said he himself and he was very, very confident. I think all too soon. I have to draw curtains. I say broadcast now. I'll see you, God willing. The course of the week. I don't want to promise anything, but we'll see as and when the time comes. Until then, do take care. Bye bye.